You're watching 22 News in Focus, and today we're talking about health and safety planning for the Big E with Gene Cassidy, President and CEO of the Eastern States Exposition. Gene, I want to have you quickly touch on sanitation. You talked about masks and people needing to wear them upon entry, so let's talk about sanitation quickly.
Sure. So, interestingly, Sierra, the fairgrounds are sanitized every night. We actually have a lot of equipment here. We have the number of people that we have on the fairgrounds and the number of animals we have on the fairgrounds. We have to be very acutely aware of E. coli and other issues. So we have a tremendous amount of equipment that sanitizes the fairgrounds already. Some of this equipment is almost unique to the agriculture industry, but it's becoming more prevalent in the wake of COVID. And interestingly, back in 1918, when they had the Spanish flu pandemic, they turned to the agriculturalists at the time, who those people had been dealing with viruses in their herds for 1,000 years. So it was the agriculturalists who played a big role in that at that time in dealing with the pandemic. We didn't have infectious disease experts the way we do, 102 years later. So we have equipment here. The fairgrounds will be sanitized. There are other issues that we also have to be very concerned about. One of them is equine encephalitis, which is born from the mosquito. So these are things that the Eastern States has always been dealing with and taking care of, and I think we're really in the best position to keep the facility clean, more so than maybe any other public gathering place. So I think we're ahead of the curve where that comes into play.
Yeah, that's great. And I want to have you also talk about the economic impact that the Big E has on West Springfield and the region, really.
Yes, I mean, when people think about the fair, oftentimes people are confused really about what the fairgrounds really is. Some people think it's a branch of the West Springfield government at times, and we are a private, not-for-profit enterprise. We were founded in 1916 by some really smart people here from Greater Springfield. And we have grown to be one of the biggest economic engines in the Greater Springfield region. The Eastern States is responsible for nearly $750 million worth of impact on our economy here. So there are tremendous numbers of collateral industries that survive in this marketplace because of the Eastern States. Specifically in our host community, we play a very big role because we are very responsible corporate citizens. Our real estate tax bill is quite large. We're about the fourth or fifth largest real estate taxpayer in the town of West Springfield. And our philanthropy in the town is also very substantial. So specifically for our own host community, the Eastern States delivers about $1,600,000 in direct payments to the town, making the town our biggest contractor, if you will. And many people depend on us. Regionally, the Eastern States is responsible for about 5,600 full-time equivalent jobs. That's very meaningful. Regional Economic Models, Inc., which is a large economic modeling firm, they do modeling for Fortune 100 companies, informs us of how it is that we impact this region, and it's very material in ways that many people would not realize or perhaps may take for granted. Sales taxes, excise taxes, all of that sort of thing come into play, and they're important to the Massachusetts economy as well.
And so I want to quickly touch on this because this is something that's new. It's called the Taste of the Big E. So tell us about that event.
So this weekend, starting Saturday and running through Sunday, as a means by which to sort of get people maybe more comfortable coming out, reacquaint them with the fairgrounds. The fairgrounds have been pretty locked down since March, and I think people are used to being here, and they haven't been able to come. Storton Tavern has been closed. The restaurant has been closed. So we are offering a taste of the Big E this weekend. We'll have 11 of our more prominent food concessionaires here on the grounds, and it'll be a drive-through opportunity for people to sort of be reminded of they've missed since last September. So I encourage folks to go onto thebiggie.com and look at the menu. You can enter in through gate 9. There'll be one-way traffic. The food booths, you won't be able to get out of your car. Everything will be delivered to you at the car window. And there'll be some terrific fair foods. And, of course, the iconic cream puff will be available as well.
All right, sounds good. Love the cream puff. We will have the final words after the break. You're watching 22 News in Focus.